Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you are most definitely welcome. My name is Oni and I'm a second year medical student, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 8 tips to getting a 4.0 GPA this semester, next semester, and every semester, okay? So if you're interested, stick around and let's get right into it. I'm so excited. So as a pre-medical student, it was so important that I tried to maintain a super high GPA throughout my 4 years of college. And guys, like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like this is easy. It's not. But these tips were literally my saving grace every semester. So just to prove to y'all, I'm just gonna show you guys what my transcript looks like.
Okay, so this was my very first year of college. My first semester was actually pretty decent, and I'll explain why in a bit. My second semester, however, I did not know of the 8 tips that I'm about to share with you guys. My advisor pretty much led me astray, and I struggled to get those C's and B's y'all are seeing right now, okay? By my sophomore year, first semester, I still did not know of these 8 tips. However, by second semester, I started incorporating a little bit of the tips. However, my third year, first semester was the very first time I was able to incorporate all 8 tips. And that was the first time that I had an 18 credit course load. And that was the first time I also got a 4.0 GPA. As you guys can see, I had 2 major classes, which were honor stats, which was a 4 credit course, and human phys. And yeah, this was just a great semester. Honestly, I did not work as hard in this semester as I did in other semesters. For the second semester, as you guys can see, biochem just came in and just disrupted my plans. I was not able to incorporate my very first tip for that class, which honestly I'm still upset about, but it's okay. And for the last semester, it's pretty good. My last year of college, there was, of course, senioritis, which always comes in senior year. And I was also taking a lot of neuro classes as well, but you know, I was able to sort of put in most of my tips into good use. So yeah, that's it, guys.
So I'm going to show you guys how I was able to achieve all of that using these tips. So the very first thing is to try your hardest to avoid difficult professors whenever possible, because I would tell you guys right now, some classes like physics or chemistry and biochem, like, I mean, these are honestly across the boards harder science courses, but some of these courses could actually be a lot easier depending on your professor. Like, your professor could make or break you, your semester, and your GPA. I've had super easy courses, like literally people told me these were easy A courses, end up being super difficult for me because my professor was just, I don't want to say the word trash, but trash. And I've had really hard classes actually become super easy courses for me because my professors, you know, were amazing. My OChem classes were beautiful because my professors were beautiful. And definitely try to avoid difficult professors whenever you can. And I know sometimes this is not very like feasible to do if you only have one professor for that course, or are not able to register for a course with an easier professor. So that could sometimes be very difficult to manage and control. So what I would personally do literally every semester before registration starts, you already sort of know what classes you're supposed to be taking. So I'm gonna give you guys an example. Let's say I need to take organic chemistry and physics. I would log into the website wherever you need to register, and I'll try to look at all the professors who offer the course for that semester, because sometimes you have some professors offering one semester and they're not offering in the next semester, depending on if it's fall or spring. So I try to see what professors are offering that course that semester. That's the first thing that I do. And then second thing I do is I'd go to ratemyprofessors.com. Like, y'all, if you've not heard of ratemyprofessor.com, I don't know what you're doing, but ratemyprofessors.com literally tells me everything that I need to know about that professor, and that was so important for me too. So a good rating for me would be like a 4.0. If I saw a 4.0, I'm taking that class straight up. If I saw a 3.5, then I'm not going to take that course. But I also end up like going through what each student has to say about the course. I'm going to show you guys how to do this.
So we're just going to head on to ratemyprofessors.com. Once we get there, it's going to tell us to search for a professor or a school. So I'm just going to put the name of the professor that I'm considering, And under that, you're going to see the name of the university. So you want to make sure that it actually coincides with the college as well, just because several names pop up sometimes. So we're using Dr. Ashmore today. She has a rating of about 3.9, which is actually pretty decent. What I'm doing here is just making sure that the name of the course coincides with what I'm actually reading. Because, some professors could be like really good for one course, but like terrible for another. So I just want to make sure that I'm reading the right ratings for the right course. And so Dr. Ashmore has like some good and some bad, it's here and there. I mean, 3.9 isn't bad, but it honestly could be better. And I think she has about 39 ratings or so, which is good. So we're going to try Dr. Rebecca, who has 4.8 rating with about 29 ratings, which is pretty good and pretty high. So we're just going to go through it, making sure that, it's up to date. So I think the last person who rated in 2020, which is good. So now I'm just looking at the names of the course. A lot of people, rated on the UCore 101 class. So if I was taking that course, I'd be feeling really good about this. So it says like for credit, attendance is mandatory. So those are things you want to take into consideration. It also says that she likes to see her students succeed. The class is really easy. I highly recommend her. Those are things that I like to see. You definitely have to participate. So again, that's something you want to take into consideration if you do not like to participate in class. I'm going to speak on that in a bit for my introverts out there. But yeah, these are things that I just pretty much look for and look at and just try to gauge and see if the course would work for me, if she will work for me. But yeah, hope that was helpful.
So in cases where the professor might not be on ratemyprofessors.com, what you could do is you could try to reach out to your friends maybe, or maybe a friend's friend or someone who knows someone who might have taken the course and sort of understand what the class is like, just to kind of get like an unbiased review of the class and the professor. If you still can't find anyone to just kind of give you like that broad general overview of the course, like I'd still say keep the class there, wait till school starts, and then you can officially meet your TAs and then have that conversation with them. Again, you're just trying to figure out how the professor is, if she's difficult, if she's easy, whatever it is about the professor, just get as much information as you can get. If that professor happens to be difficult, I'm pretty sure you can just decide to drop the course, at least by the first week, or keep going with the course if the professor is easy. So honestly, I just kind of gave you all like 4 different steps to ensuring that you do not get a difficult professor. Like, I can't honestly emphasize how important it is to have a professor that's not difficult. I literally cannot emphasize it, honestly. Like, I feel like that's like the most important thing. Try your hardest to shoot for an easy professor. You're still going to understand everything you need to know for that course. Just save your GPA. That's it. Second thing that I try to do is to choose my classes wisely. So being a pre-med, like we have a couple science courses that we have to take. So it can be very easy for us to just kind of like stack up all the classes or the courses together, just so we can like do everything at once and get it over with, especially if you still have like classes for your major to take. My personal rule of thumb is to not go beyond 2 hard science courses per semester, and if you have to do 3 courses, just make sure that the 3rd professor is like super duper chill, like super chill. And I'm going to give you guys a story. My second semester, which was the semester that actually messed me up, I ended up taking like 3 huge science courses at once, and this was freshman year. When I started with my first semester, I actually, because I'm international, moved into the country a little later than like most of my classmates. So by the time I got here, and it was time for me to register for my classes for the semester, I was kind of like behind, and most of the courses had been full, so I couldn't really take most of the science classes that I wanted to take that first semester. So I ended up just doing like taking like biology 1, psych, and like some really easy like general education courses. My course load for the first semester was so chill, and that was actually helpful for me because that was the first time that I was in the country, and I just kind of like was able to start my semester slow. By the time I moved to the second semester, because I did pretty well that first semester, so by the time I moved to the second semester, my advisor was like, oh, you know, you did so well your first semester, that means you can like handle all these courses. So she gave me like chemistry, calc 1, and I took bio 2 and like a bio lab that semester, and all these classes were like difficult, or no, I don't say difficult per se, but like there was just a lot of information, and my chem professor was literally the worst. Like, no, I'm serious, he literally went on probation like the semester before for failing a quarter of his students. Like, so he was a really tough professor, so I had such a huge course load at once, and that's kind of what really messed me up, and I ended up having to use the remaining 3 years of college to make up for that one mistake. So if I hadn't stacked up all the courses at once, it would have been a lot easier for me. I would not have gotten the C that I got in calculus. Of course, if you're a pre-med and you're trying to maintain a 4.0 GPA, you literally need to get an A. You need to have the mindset that you're trying to get an A. So just try to avoid stacking up all the courses at once, because then it becomes too unbearable for you. There's just too many courses to take. And to be very honest, if you feel like you're behind your peers and like you need to get all these courses done as soon as you can, space them out. Try to do them over the summer. Try to, if you can, take like 2 courses over the summer. Just space out your science courses, because at the end of the day, if you decide to stack up all the courses at once and you end up getting a really bad GPA, now you have to start considering like taking a post back or like applying to so many medical schools because your GPA is not as great, and these things will still like cost money. So, you know, just save yourself that time. Like if you feel like you're behind and you need to like take a lot of courses, then space it out. Try to do as many courses over the summer and just pay for it that summer to save you money and time and emotional stress, okay, for the rest of like your college career. A C honestly is not gonna break you. You're still gonna be able to make it out of it. I got a C in my freshman year, and I was able to graduate with 3.76 GPA at the end of the day. So it's not gonna break you, but I'm not gonna lie, it was hard for me to just fix that one C, and not to talk of like a D or an F or something like that. So definitely just try to save yourself the energy and the emotional stress. Yeah, so that's my second tip. Definitely try to not stack up your classes and choose your classes wisely. Try to incorporate the easy courses, like, you know, some of those gen ed classes that you could take. You could even take a gym class. Like I took a swimming class one time, super chill. I actually ended up learning how to swim. Ended up being my favorite class, and it was such an easy A. So just take all the easy courses, just kind of stack them up with your hard courses to make your college life a lot easier, okay? So the third thing that I try to do is to study my class schedule and syllabus. This is something that you usually get at the start of the semester by your professors. So normally when I get that like schedule, because that literally has everything I need to know about the course, I just try to like run through it. But the most important part of that class syllabus is literally the grading distribution. That's all I care about, because that's where I'm getting my A's from. So I usually would just go on there and just try to see like how much each like assignment or class exercises or exams and all of that, how much all those are worth, so I know how to like pretty much dedicate my time to like studying and preparing for the course. Of course, if you're aiming for an A, not an A minus, an A, you're working like towards every single thing on the grading distribution. Like everything matters, but just sort of knowing like how much each thing is worth is definitely helpful. And usually when I get that, I have like a little to-do organizer where I just put down the dates for each homework, you know, each class exercise, the exams. I'm just going to show you what that looks like and how I like organize that in a second. But definitely doing that like makes everything a lot more organized for me for each class. And remember, I do this literally for every single course, so I'm just pretty much show you what I do.
Okay, so I personally use calendars, even though some of my friends think it's old school, but I use it anyway. This is actually my medical school calendar, but in undergrad, I use calendars as well. So what I do is I literally go in and put down the due dates for every single thing for that semester, for every course. So all the assignments, all the midterms, the class exercises, the exams, like everything I'm going to put down on my calendar from like for the whole semester. And that's helpful because every day I wake up, I literally see what's due when it's due. So I literally just hang this right beside my bed, so it's the first thing I see in the morning. Okay, so let's say I have an exam on the 18th, for example. On the 1st of September, I'm seeing everything that's due that month. I'm seeing everything that's due the next month. Like, I already have it in my head, and so it's hard to miss deadlines and stuff like that, and that just kind of keeps me in check, which is awesome. If you're not old school and you don't want to use a calendar, I got you with the planner. This planner I just found, and it's actually really, really cute. I'm gonna put the link in the description box, so go ahead and check that, and you can also use my code for 10% off. But I feel like a lot of the tips that I'll be giving, you can actually organize those tips in this planner, which is why I'm actually putting it in here. So let's first of all start with putting down your courses. So here you can actually put down all your courses, and then if you're trying to get an A in this class, like, just put it right there. Put down the number of points you need to get your A in there, so you're seeing that every day. Put down your professor information, their email, their office hours, so you're not going on your class syllabus all the time to check for that information. So I like that little bit about it. And the grade tracker is obviously the most important part for me. This is where I put in the grading distribution for each class. So let's say a course has like 30% for an assignment, 20% for exam. I have 2 exams that semester, whatever it is. I just put that on this chart, just so I know how much each thing is worth, and I can easily reference that when I need to or when I'm studying. So here's where I'm going to speak about this in a few minutes, but I'm going to put the contact information for 1 or 2 classmates in my class, just so I have like people who are taking the same course as I am, in case something happens or I run into like some problems, so I need help, but just to like keep me accountable, basically. So yeah, that's pretty much the planner. I like that they have these little motivational quotes from time to time. So if you guys are interested, again, the link is in the description box, and you can use my code for 10% off.
Another thing that I definitely try to do that is worth mentioning is checking to see if the class required a lot of class contribution, which is pretty much speaking up in class. I, for one, am an introvert. I do not like talking. I do not speak in class ever. Like, it's just so uncomfortable for me. Okay, so if you're like me, you could very, very easily lose points from not speaking up in class, especially because you have a few people who are like, who talk a lot in class. They're very active, they're very engaging. I'm not one of those people. I don't be speaking in class. I'm literally just by myself, with my 1 or 2 friends, and that's it. So for those courses, I try to pay very, very specific attention to them, because I'm not trying to lose no points because I don't speak. So I try to make sure that, I sort of like go through whatever we're doing in class before class starts. Sometimes I actually just kind of write out what I already want to say in class, just so I'm ready. So if I get a class and he's like, oh, or she's like, what you guys learn today, or what do you guys, have any questions, whatever, I just say anything that I already wrote out on my piece of paper. That counts towards my class contribution for the day. And another thing that I also tried to do, which was honestly so important, I'd email the professor, and I literally would tell the professor that I'm not a very great speaker in class. Like, I don't usually talk in class. I'm very quiet. I'm very shy. That just kind of like gives them an idea of who I am, first of all. Secondly, they kind of have the idea that I do not speak too much. So if they don't see me speaking, they already understand that, this is hard for me. And thirdly, I do come to class prepared. Like, I'm not gonna just sit there and not say nothing. Like, I'm coming to class prepared. I already have like 1 or 2 sentences that I have to say, and that's it for me. So when I come, I say my 2 sentences, I leave, but have my full points for class contribution, because the professor sees that I am trying. Versus if I just went to class and I only spoke like once in class, but the professor doesn't really know that I actually have issues with speaking in class, it's like easier for him to not give me a good enough grade for that course. So definitely letting the professor know that, this might be a little difficult for me, but I'm ready to put in the work. I just want you to know that this is a little difficult for me. Already sets the tone for you, and it makes that a lot easier. But that's just for my introverts out there. I'm trying to reach out to as many people as I can. Okay, so that's definitely the 3rd thing that I do. The 4th thing is doing extra credits. Now, I understand that most people don't like doing extra credits. For me, if the professor was to walk up to me and be like, maybe not walk up to me, but if a professor mentioned that we had extra credits, I would literally put that down in my notebook as mandatory. Like, it's not extra credit that, like, you know, you do whenever you want. I have to do it. I need those points. Like, I literally would always go with that mindset because that pushes me to do those extra credits. And like, it's extra credits, those are free points. Like, you have free points to turn your B plus into an A minus and your A minus to an A plus. So why would you not do it? I honestly can't tell you how many times doing those extra credits like bumped me from like a B plus to an A minus. And not all professors give the extra credits, so for those who do, I definitely say do them. Do not toss them to the side, do not disregard them, do not ignore them. I understand it's a lot of stuff to do already. There's so much going on, especially as pre-med or college on its own is just really difficult, to be fair. So I do understand there's a lot going on, but A plus is hard to get. A is hard. A is difficult too. So you need to put in the work to get you your A, to get you your 4.0 GPA. So whatever extra credits come your way, try to do them because, again, they're free. Those are free points. The fifth thing I'd say that I like to do was to get to know my professors one-on-one. I would try to, of course, attend classes as regularly as I could. I try to like sit in front of class because, like I said, I'm an introvert. I don't be speaking in class, and so it's hard for professors to actually get to know me personally because, again, I don't speak. What I would try to do is go to class every day. I try to sit in front. I don't speak, but I'm sitting in the front seat, just so that they see me, like they're seeing me and I'm seeing them. And so if at some point I need to like meet with them, they're like, okay, they sort of already recognize me. They've seen me in class a couple times, so they know me in some way. I also do try to go to office hours. Sometimes I actually understand what's going on, but I'm just trying to like get that relationship with my professor. I didn't do this for every single professor, of course not. I only did this for professors where the classes were mad huge. Some of my professors tried getting to knowing their students' names. Most of my professors ended up knowing me because it's like they're literally biting their tongues 5 times before they can pronounce my name. And so at the end of the day, they remember like I'm the girl with the hard name, and so they remember me. But just kind of like getting your professors to know you is helpful because there are times when, you know, things come up a lot. And so there might be times you might forget to submit an assignment. You might forget to do a project, like something might come up. If your professor knows you and knows that you're a serious student, you're always in class, you're always sitting in front, you know, you try to contribute when you can, it's easier for them to give you a pass. And I'm speaking from personal experience. So like that pretty much saves you from like failing a quiz or failing an exam or failing an, you know, some kind of homework when things come up. And at the same time, it keeps you engaged with the class material, like when you get to know your professors, and it just makes it easier for you to get even better grades in the course. And again, like I said, if a professor knows you and they like you, they're gonna try to, you know, give you as much advice as they can. They're going to try to make sure that you succeed in their class. And at the end of the day, they might end up writing a letter of recommendation for you, or they might call you to be, you know, their TA. You just start setting up that relationship, and it's just nice. So that's definitely something that I did, or at least I tried to do. Oof. I need water. So the next thing that I did, and this is like honestly very cliche, everybody knows to do this, is to study for my exams on time. Like, you don't want to keep your exams and like not study until 2 days or a day before the exam. Like, you want to start studying a couple weeks to that exam. Because think about it, if you are able to finesse that exam, maybe you're able to study a day before the exam day and you end up like getting a 95%. Imagine if you had actually started studying for that exam like 2-3 days before, you probably have gotten 100%. So like, definitely try to start studying for exams on time. What I would personally do is just kind of like write down the topics that I'm very uncomfortable with and start studying those topics like a couple days leading to the exam. Just so that before exam time comes, I'm literally an expert on that certain topic and I'm able to teach people if I had to. That was kind of like my mindset. Being able to teach someone else meant that I understood it. And I also tried to do like as many practice questions as I could get my hands on, especially if I'm doing like physics or chemistry. I just try to make sure that I actually understand and I can fully understand the concept. I don't like going into an exam feeling like I could have done more or there's a section that I forgot to study. I like to be very thorough, so I go through like every single thing that has been discussed on my lecture notes just to make sure that I've covered everything and I'm ready to kill my exam. So each time I studied with the mindset of getting like at least a 90% on all my exams. Honestly, I'd never walk into an exam feeling like, I could do with an 80%, or, it's fine if I got a 75%. No, I need to get at least a 90%. 90% is actually a little bit low. I'm thinking 95, okay? It does sound crazy. But then again, if you're trying to get an A+, you just have to have that mindset, guys. Like, if you're trying to get a 4.0 GPA, which is why you're watching this video, you have to have that mindset. You need to set your standards like super high so you can try and achieve them, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'd always walk into an exam like with that mindset that I need to get an A+. Me walking in with that mindset, or having that mindset when I'm studying, helps push me to really cover all my grounds, tick all my boxes, dot all my I's, cross all my T's. Like, so that was so important for me. So that's how you want to go into these exams. And of course, when you give yourself some time to study before the exam comes, it gives you more time to sort of like go through things that you're struggling with. You can easily meet with a tutor, your professors, like, or even some of your friends who might sort of understand the material and you're confused with. You could do all of that before it's exam time, and you're feeling a lot better. And honestly, when you do this, especially for the science courses, it does make MCAT studying a lot easier for you. So try to go in with that mindset that you truly want to understand and grasp the concept before exam time. The next thing that I did was to make use of all the resources given to me. Like, and this was a huge thing for me, which is why I always emphasize it. Try to make sure you use all the resources that you have. Like, there's no point struggling. Like, why are you in a class? You've paid for college, you've paid for all these things, and you're struggling on your own. Like, do not do that to yourself. There's no point, there's no reason that you should be struggling. I'm only allowed to struggle if I've actually used all the resources that have been provided to me and I'm, still not understanding the material. So you'll usually get like extra practice questions from your professors. You have the teaching assistants that are around who are there for free. You have tutors, I like to think, who can walk you through different concepts. At least in my school, we had several people who like sort of tutored chemistry. Some did physics, some did math, and all of that. There were TAs who were responsible for that specific class. You have friends and people who might already understand that material. If you've used all of these extra like resources that are given to you and you're still struggling, there's YouTube, guys. YouTube has so many videos on so many concepts. You can literally Google the one topic that you're struggling with and find someone who's able to sort of like walk you through things. There is Chegg, and there's Tutor Me, I think, and there's Varsity Tutors, and there's so many tutoring companies out. I know they're expensive. I definitely do know they're expensive. But if you're truly struggling in a topic, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with investing that time and money into a tutor who's actually going to be able to walk you through your entire semester and just help you do better. For one, I'm a tutor. I work for one of these companies, and guys, I personally never used any of these companies. I just started working for them after college, and I've been able to just work with students from the beginning of a course to the end of the course, and actually, I personally, at least for me, make sure that my student is able to get close to an A as much as possible. That's always my goal. And so if I was able to get a tutor who had the same mindset, like, that makes studying and learning a lot easier. If I'm struggling with something, I'm able to meet a tutor who's able to explain it to me in simple English. Okay, so I definitely don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's actually really helpful. So look into tutoring. I use YouTube videos. One of my favorite YouTube videos on YouTube channels was Khan Academy, and they also have their website as well. I'm pretty sure everybody knows. A lot of people know Khan Academy. Khan Academy was great for me. I used Crash Course because I'm a visual learner. I like seeing videos and animations. And again, knowing how you learn helps you to know what to look for. If we're learning stuff on DNA replication, I like to see the DNA replicating so it sticks in my head. Like, you could tell me all these steps and it's not going to stick until I actually see it or I watch it. And so I'd literally go Google, animations for DNA replication, animations for protein synthesis, animations for whatever that I'm learning. And honestly, to date, and I'm saying DNA replication because I still see the video in my head. Like, I watched this video like freshman year. That was in 2014. Like 6 years ago, and I still see the video in my head, like, because it really sticks for me. And by the time I go back to studying my notes, like, I've just saved myself so much time because I see the video. It makes everything a lot easier for me. So definitely make use of all these outside resources. We got YouTube, we got so much stuff online right now that are super duper helpful. So definitely make use of them, guys, and secure that 4.0. Okay, this is just to kind of maintain your mental health, because it's a lot. This is a lot. But you want to surround yourself with like-minded, supportive friends, especially with the pre-med curriculum. You're going to be doing so much. You're always going to be busy. There's always going to be an exam coming up, and for you, having that exam is studying hard enough to get an A. You're really trying to get an A in that course, and so you're going to put in your all. You're going to put in your whole energy into trying to make sure that you score really well in this exam. And so some of your classmates may not understand that. Some people who are not pre-meds may not understand that. Some people who don't really care about their grades as much may not understand why you're putting in so much effort. So you want to make sure you're surrounding your friends with people who do understand that and will be supportive. And so most of my friends, at least in college, we all try to work around each other's schedule, just making sure that they're actually a part of whatever is getting planned, because you don't want to be the one person just left home having to study while your whole friend group is going out, having fun, enjoying life. Therefore, having friends who are in the same program as you, who probably have the same things due and the same homeworks to do and the same classes to take, or who at least understand your struggle and are absolutely there to support you, is honestly very helpful. That was super helpful for me. Helped me in staying focused without feeling guilty about it. One thing I would say is when it comes to having classes, I try to have at least 1 or 2 people in my class in case there's some kind of new homework or something that I just did not catch. At least I could ask around. I have my friends, they probably will text me oh, have you done this homework? And I'm no, I haven't. Let's do it together. Stuff like that. You can just kind of work with each other and try to improve your grades. It could even be simple things like saving a spot for me in class, and it just makes life a lot easier. That's definitely something you want to look into. For those who may have learning disabilities or any disabilities of any kind, make sure you are using the Disability Resources and Services Office in your school, in your college. Do not wait until last minute, right? If you need those accommodations that the DRS office usually provides, make sure you're getting your accommodations. You might feel some sort of stigma. You might feel uncomfortable going into the DRS office, and I understand that it's okay to have those feelings and feel those feelings. It's absolutely okay, but at the end of the day, you need to do what is right for you and what is right by you, and you need to get those accommodations. Try not to compare yourself to others. Do what you need to do to succeed. If you need accommodations and you see yourself doing a lot better with those accommodations, why are you not using them? Why aren't you using them? You paid for it. You should absolutely use it. And if you feel like you personally need to get accommodations, definitely go check it out. Go see a physician. Get your what's it called? All the is it paperwork? Get all your paperwork, get the documentation that you need. Go see your DRS office and make sure that whoever is working with you, that they're there to support you, and they're working very closely with all your professors to make sure that you have all of the accommodations that you need. I personally worked at the DRS office, so that's why I'm emphasizing this, because I have seen the students do end up coming in late. If you had a 504 in high school, make sure that you do not stop your accommodations when you go to college, okay? So yeah, I'm just emphasizing that because you don't want to, end up in a very sticky situation. So definitely try to get all the accommodations that you need when you need them. So yeah, that's it. If you guys can honestly, truly follow these 8 tips, I guarantee you that you're gonna get very close to a 4.0, at least a 3.8 GPA, at least per semester, if you guys literally stick to these 8 tips. You know what? Let's do this. How about you go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section saying that, this was probably my GPA when I started, and after these tips, this is what my GPA is. I like to see progress. Drop your GPA in the comment section and definitely update them probably at the end of the semester or next semester, letting me know how much you've been able to improve on your GPA because of these tips. Hopefully these work for you. Hopefully you found these helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm going to be replying to every question that comes my way. If you want it to be more personal, feel free to follow me on premed series. I respond to the DMs there as well. This was a very long video. My voice aches. If you'd like to see more of these videos, go ahead and hit the subscription button and also the notification tab so it lets you know when I've posted. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay safe.